After years of construction, the Animal Foundation of Great Falls is getting ready to unveil its new center. I'm Margaret DeMarco, and I'll have more on that story coming up.
Good afternoon. Thanks for making KRTV part of your Friday.
As dry conditions continue, the risk of fires is on the rise. Emergency crews respond to a small grass fire near a home in Sun Prairie this afternoon. Firefighters responded around 2 o'clock to the call on Riverfront Lane in Sun Prairie. They quickly controlled the blaze. The volunteer fire chief, Nate Curtis, says the fire started when a controlled burn from Thursday night reignited. The fire only burned about 2 acres, but Curtis says it's important to keep a close eye on any burn activity even after you think it's out.
We had the rain and the rain was good, but everything's still dry. So if you're doing burning, you need to make sure you get everything out. As you can see, the grass is very sparse out here, but it didn't take long and the fire was out of control. Even if you're doing a controlled burn, make sure you're wetting down all your outer edges. That water through the night will soak in and help contain a burn if it was to ignite again.
Curtis recommends putting a sprinkler on a burned area to ensure that it does not reignite.
Well, we're finishing this work week with very nice weather around Great Falls, although of course still very dry.
Meteorologist Ross Giarantana in for Mike Rollins joins us for a first look at the forecast. Ross?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic out there today. Of course, a lot of sunshine, and let's take you up to Lewistown. Crystal clear skies all across the board, and Cut Bank also dealing with plenty of sunshine out there, and temperatures are looking very nice. 68 Great Falls, 69 in Cut Bank, 70 Havre, Glasgow, and Jordan, and then lower 60s in the southern half of the state. But overall, temperatures is well above average all across the board, and temperatures remaining for the rest of the evening. 65 at 7 p.m., 56 at 9, and then temperatures cooling down to the mid-40s overnight tonight. Grab a check of the satellite radar. Hardly anything to show you here. Just a couple of clouds working their way into northwestern Montana. But here's the next storm system that'll be diving southeastward throughout the overnight hours. This will bring us some cooler air and some showers throughout the weekend. I'll time that all out for you coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Ross. We'll see you then. The last 2 men to be sentenced for the 2012 murder of a Sydney school teacher receives a 100-year sentence to prison today.
25-year-old Michael Spell's attorney fought for a commitment to a mental health facility, but today the judge denied the request.
MTN's Asia Gore was in Sydney for the sentencing today and tells us about this long-awaited decision.
Mr. Avignon argues that his client should be treated the same as Mr. Waters. One big difference. It was Mr. Spell who actually murdered Sherry.
25-year-old Michael Spell, one of 2 men responsible for the murder of a beloved high school math teacher.
Yeah, I'm sorry for what I've done, and I know that I hurt a lot of people, and I'm just hoping someday they'd be able to forgive me for what I've done.
But despite his apology and courtroom testimony about his mental disability, it wasn't enough to keep Spell out of prison.
We were still dealing with the possibility of life without parole in prison. So that was a major problem as well. It took quite a while to get to the point where we are today, where we were able to negotiate a plea agreement that allows Michael to be paroled in 22 years.
The defense argued co-defendant Lester Van Waters ordered Spell to do his bidding with threats of sexual assault and even death. But just before he delivered the sentence, Judge Richard Simonton said Spell had a choice.
There's no doubt that it has affected and changed a lot of lives. And you've hit the exact word, security. People who did not lock their house doors and residential doors now do. People who left their keys in their vehicles now do not.
Defendants remanded to the custody of the sheriff.
3 years after this random act of violence rocked Sydney, Montana, things won't ever be the same, but just maybe the community can move on. In Sydney, Asia Gore, MTN News.
None of Spell's time is suspended, but he does have the opportunity for parole as soon as age 50. Spell's attorney says there will be an appeal of both today's sentence and the earlier decision that Spell was competent to proceed.
A bill to expand Medicaid is a Senate vote away from Governor Bullock's desk. The Senate voted 29-21 today to accept House amendments to Senate Bill 405. The HELP Act would expand Medicaid to about 45,000 people. Enrollees would have to pay a small portion of premiums as well as co-payments, and they'll be offered a program to improve their job prospects. The bill also shortens the window to file medical malpractice claims and sunsets automatically in 4 years. It requires one more vote in the Senate, and that could come tomorrow. Meanwhile, after voting it down yesterday, the House today changed direction and voted in favor of a bill to close the Montana Developmental Center in Boulder. That facility houses about 50 developmentally disabled people. It's had numerous substantiated cases of abuse. Representative Pat Noonan quoted a report just last month from the Department of Public Health and Human Services.
MDC is not established and does not maintain a humane and safe environment. MDC staff is ill-trained and inadequately supervised.
Since April of 2014, the Department of Justice has substantiated 73 incidents, staff abuse and neglect.
Opponents of the bill said there may not be appropriate facilities elsewhere for some of the residents. That bill could still get review from the House Appropriations Committee and has a final vote ahead in the House.
With the winter months now behind us, flu season is also coming to an end, but cases are still being seen. Just within the past week, 5 cases of influenza were diagnosed at the City-County Health Department in Great Falls. Strains of the illness became mutated. The vaccination, although still effective in most cases, didn't offer complete protection this year. For the 2014-2015 flu season, 301 cases were diagnosed, with 81 of those needing hospitalization. In comparison to that, the 2013-2014 season reported 232 cases with 41 hospitalizations.
The strain had drifted a little bit, it had mutated, so it wasn't, the vaccine wasn't offering as much protection as we had anticipated. Each year, though, it's hard to anticipate which strains we're going to see, so that's why it's always important still to get your flu shot.
Although the flu season is coming to an end, health officials advise there's never a bad time to get vaccinated.
The month of April is recognized as Autism Awareness Month, and one Great Falls father is working to spread understanding. Richie Kappen, the father of an autistic son, decided to spread awareness in Great Falls with a night of music, food, and fun. The event at the Solid Rock Bible Church includes live music, food, and a silent auction to benefit autism awareness. It's also a chance for the community to share information and stories about life with autism.
There are a lot of people out there that still have no idea what it is. A lot of people don't understand the term. Matter of fact, I was approached by a member here at the church today who's, he asked me, I really don't know what autism is. Can you give me a little bit about it? And so, I would encourage everybody, because statistics say that as you walk down the street, 1 in every 25 people that you may walk by may be on the autistic spectrum.
That event is open to the public tonight from 7 till 9 p.m. Well, Great Falls will soon have a new place to help our furry friends find a new home.
MTN's Margaret DeMarco joins us from the Margaret J. McLean Animal Welfare Center to show us the progress of the multi-million-dollar facility.
Now, the Animal Foundation of Great Falls says that construction has been going smoothly because of this nice weather. The building behind me has been designed for dogs and cats, and designers even planned that because they made the front look like a dog house. High adoption rates, the facility have medical for incoming animals, grooming, spay and neuter programs, and more. The Welfare Center will not only be for pet adoptions, but they will also offer class to communities. Organizers are ready to get doors open and help teach people to take care of all living creatures.
I have heard individuals who have been with this foundation working on this project since 2002 that were part of the grassroots campaign. I've heard them say the dream is now a reality. And it did happen quickly. We finished our financing in January, and now looks like we'll be opening, like I mentioned before, in July.
The foundation started construction on this building back in 2007, and tomorrow night they'll be hosting their 11th annual Fur Ball. Now, the fundraiser is sold out, but if you still would like to donate, you can visit us online. I'm Margaret DeMarco, MTN News.